Track 45 to 48.
Was
a big change.
Track
Drivers raced last week at Kentucky.
Charlotte Championship race 1 of 2.
Influence tonight's race.
Qualified P2.
To take a look at our starting grid.
Everybody in the top 6 playoff.
Look at the weather. 112-degree track.
Even on
73 air.
Points.
2-mile-an-hour wind, so nothing there. Race is starting 1:15 in the afternoon, so right in the heat of the day.
Driver at the 8 Ryan McCann winning some redemption after last week. Bryce Hickson
looks like it's on ×1, so it won't transition in tonight.
Starting in third, season 1 champion, going to be in 4th place at Brian Johnson. A 3-time champion, Larry Yingling.
Right.
Both drivers.
It is a tough track.
No longer running for a championship this season, but another driver that is running for a championship is Zach Hall.
All right, let's
starts of any one of the
pull up your stream.
Trying to go for his first ever WSSR championship journey. Starts
Valve lashes you with his valves.
In 7th. In 8th place, Cedric Hunter. Anthony Gotti is going to be starting in 9th. 10th is where we find Ken Campbell, probably the biggest underdog coming into this round.
It's important to lash your valves.
Mason Cassidy in 12th. 13th,
it is important to lash your valves.
In our top 14, it's going to be John Forbes in the 11th. 15th place, we find Ollie Fonseca, Jason Tamer, and the rest of the field. But Robert, this class, this field, biggest shock, deeper in the field to watch.
Unless you got hydraulic lifters.
In 21st place, then as well, Benjamin Nelson.
It's not so much important.
They are so far back. They got a lot of work if they want to get up front.
You race at Trackhouse, right?
Most definitely got a lot of work here to do here tonight. You know, but this.
Yeah, he asked if you did.
They can get it done if you take care of your tires and take care of your.
He said he used to race Champ carts. The manufacturer was Shadow.
Like that too, Sam.
And then he asked who you were.
Watch out for the pit stops, right?
Gotcha.
You're
what was his name?
Back. And you can lose, or you know,
Galen Brown.
You can gain, but you don't.
His brother was Kenner.
More than what you gain.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Absolutely, and no driver's going to be having EOL.
Yeah, they used to live out near Morganton and whatnot. All right, Brian, here we go.
This evening, up front, championship contenders Ryan Kelly, Brian McCann going to be your top 2. How well can you move through the field? For Benjamin Nelson, you got
nice even start.
Field after last
tires spun already.
Let's see to start the race off. We'll see if he
saw that
here tonight. Into the restart zone. We are green for the first race of the championship round for season 8.
They're going to have the momentum off the top.
Series going to find Ryan Kelly, Brian McCann side by side through 1 and 2. But watch out for the exit of turn 2. These tires going to be slick. They're cold, and the field holds steady for now as they roar down into 2
side
3.
I was wanting to lead a lap that lap.
You are clear.
I'm going to end up wrecking myself.
That's all right. Good try.
Look at that lap lead. That's a bonus point for this race that will carry forward into the championship round. And the 8 gets loose, and it's the 3 of Kelly that will lead lap number 1.
And Kelly's
that outside ain't got much grip.
Down in the turn 1 here again for the second time.
Coming.
Looks like we're going to get to top 6 or 7 there, Sam.
Just stay with him. You don't need to push. Conserve your tires.
Right now.
Yeah, it's most of our top 10 going to be in line with one another. A little bit of moves looks to be made for 4th place with Brian P. Johnson and Larry Yingling trying to move his way forward. McCann setting up for a pass potentially for first, but Brian P. Johnson, Larry Yingling, they're just running for race wins, no longer a championship run. The drivers that are in the mix and mingle of this Hornet's Nest find the 15 of Ken Campbell of that Under Armour 15 machine on the outside, and Ken Campbell coming into this race, the biggest underdog. If you look at the stats coming into tonight, only 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Everyone else at least has 5 to almost 10, 5 top 5s, and at least 10 top 10s in this round. Zach Hall's the only other driver that doesn't have 10 top 10s coming in this round, but he had 2 wins this season, so it's been make or break for the 32. But watching out Ken Campbell, he's been an under-the-radar driver, but I think if he wants the championship, a win might need to be in the Breakfast 15.
Hey, I agree with you there, Sam, as these guys are still battling. We got Zach Hall now looking like he's getting in a line, and you got Cedric Hunter down here trying to battle with the number 4 here of, I believe, Mason Cassidy here. He's trying to get around him going down into number 3 and 4 here, but that's the key. Exiting out of 4, like you talked about it earlier, Sam, that is a tough place to exit to make a pass. The car gets tight, the wall comes closer to you, and sometimes if you don't hit that turn right, you got a lift here, as we still see a lollygag of cars back here with John Forbes and everybody.
all stacked up, all together. But
Fast lap so far is by the leader, 32.207. He's faster than both you and third.
Possible.
4 of the last 5 laps.
Giving up pole positions right now of those that are up front.
10-4, I'm just following.
So we have 4 spots.
Hey, Derek.
Up
Thank you, Derek.
And as well, now up 5 spots is the 81 of Jason Tamer ripping the top. That's Jason Tamer for a while. 81 willing to get aggressive. And this is one of those drivers as well as the 77. I would say Brian Noel. They're willing to be as aggressive as they need as we ride on board with Anthony Gaudio. Seeing those drivers utilize the top line. Gaudio staying low. I like that call. Stay low, try to save these tires. Drivers on the outside, they have the grip now to rip the top. But how hurt will these tires be, or how aggressive they're being in the next 15 to 20 laps? They're really going to be falling backwards.
Yeah, and that's going to be the key. We'll find out here within the next 15 laps. Like
You are definitely better from the center off through 3 and 4.
well, everybody feels that running at this track, you know, people put multiple laps on, you know.
Last 3 laps combined, you were better by a tenth.
77 is going to get loose a little bit. Ooh, but
Let's
he
go.
got going out of 3 and 4 there, Sam.
He certainly.
That's because Derek joined.
Oh, Anthony Gaudio.
And with these drivers, they're already feeling the pain. And behind them, trouble for the 2 machine and Danny Cochran. Those behind Anthony Gaudio got spooked by the 29, scraping the wall and entry. And actually forced the 2 machine into the wall as well to hurt himself.
This is the final 2 for the championship, Derek.
20 to now.
First of the 2.
Our top 15 now outside of our top 20 is the 2 machine.
Yeah, and
So yeah, we're racing for a championship this race.
to get onto his right side, but that car's pretty binged and hit.
It is absolutely dinged and hit, and all coming off with just one bad entry point.
Take it, Brian.
All on the entry.
Almost.
2 laps ago now. So continue to race their way around. This is going to be a hard spot for Danny Cochran, but again, not one of our championship 6 drivers, but a driver that we know that can be quick. And
That was my opportunity
He's
right there.
getting
Messed
just
it up.
slightly below that white line,
probably the second teammate of
and it's kicking him up the track.
trying to get that Lariat Productions machine in
I got to cool my tires off.
running in that 16th.
I do want that bonus point though.
16th position as we see Christopher Wade there. He's got,
Of course.
Cam Sarton to go right with Cody Reed's now going to look to go underneath the 53 here. And then it also looks like you got Christopher Morris. I do believe they're going to try to make a move here. Yeah, as he's getting down low here, and he's going to try to make a move as he's got Nick Crawford, his teammate, I do believe, on this night, right? They're teammates here tonight. Oh, wait, now we just got somebody in the wall again. Was that Cody Reed?
He was close getting in the wall. He was able to just scale away. I think it was a slight brush. Christopher Wade might have been the one that got the worst of it for the 53 who backs off. But these drivers getting very close. They're trying to arc their way through the corners and get the most that they can. Outside wall kind of sneaks up on you when you get through.
Just sizing it up.
Kind of has a slight indent that gets your machine towards the track. That little indent really can spook drivers if they're not paying attention enough, especially with how compact everyone is. You know, if the drivers in front of you is a little bit.
He's getting tight.
See that entry spot that you're aiming for. Small mistakes could hurt.
Either that or realize he doesn't need to get that low and drift up track.
You're in Charlotte, not track. If you look at the past, known for collisions, but we might see one. Noel, what a save in front of John.
I got to get calmed down.
Doing a slow slide, losing the rear end.
Take it easy.
Somehow keeps it together. Great save by the 77, and that almost was going to collect at least 2 to 3 drivers.
Oh, man, what a save like you said there, Sam. That was crazy. Now, he needs to back down a little bit. I think he's pushing the car a little bit too hard. I've been watching him for the last 3-4 laps, and I just think he's got the speed, and he's like, man, I'm ready to race here tonight. And, you know, you get that adrenaline going, like, man, you just feel so good. But at the same time, you just see what he did there going through there, and he slid that car, saved it. You know, thankful for everybody else. But I think
The 2 of you have a 1.3 second lead over P3.
Sam.
Also, Robert sneaking into the shot right behind the 77. It started on
Now's the point where it's going to be insanely difficult to pass.
Benjamin Nelson. I mean, talked about the fact that he kind of got a practice run last week. Kentucky had to start all the way back in the end of the field during that race.
I went back off a little.
He is learning quickly. This 79 already up to 13th, our biggest mover, up 11 spots.
Well, maybe it's good luck. Maybe it's good luck.
Your first 9 laps were in the 30s. You've been in the 31 the last 5.
I did it 2 weeks ago. I did it last week. I might as well do it again, next week, right? I mean, maybe it has his lucky charm. But, you said he figured it out.
His first 9 were in the 30s, and then he's been in the 31s the last 6 laps, so he's pushing harder than you. You'll get him on the long run. Just take it easy.
Trying to drive through this field, and we just saw Noel have a big slide there. We've also seen a couple of other drivers have a hold your breath moment. For now, it's working for Nelson to work for the field. I wouldn't imagine he's going to use that same tactic next week with how crucial of a race next week's going to be, being the official last race of the season. But tonight, the Tone Center for our Championship 6 drivers, all starting at 4,000 points. And it's all about getting the most points. And tonight,
I think you get a bonus for leading the most too, Derek.
At the moment, seeing some patch championship drivers of Brian E. Johnson in the 28 machine, the right in front of them.
There you go. Like you said, he's getting tight.
Larry Yingling, a 3-time champion of the WSSR.
He's way up.
Ken Campbell, 15, slowly making his way forward. And Robert, like Ken does, just sneakily moving his way forward and just staying out of trouble.
He's a snake under a rock. You don't know he's there until all of a sudden he snaps at you, and you're like, where did he come from? That's Ken Campbell. That's what he reminds me of. We've seen him do this in and out all season. And like you noted on, in other leagues and other.
But 3 and 4 looks like his Achilles heel. He's really fighting to try to keep it down, but 1 and 2, he's right on the bottom, right along with you.
But when he's good, he's on, and right now he's looking good. And I'm just looking at the standings here right now. You got Ryan Kelly, McCann. They're 2 playoff drivers, first and second up.
Yeah, I'm just racing the track right now.
Then you got Ken Campbell back here running in 6th position. And then you got Ben moving up through the field. You got Zach Hall running 7th. All our champion guys are a little bit spread out, but they're still close enough to each other.
Got behind us catching us.
This moment, there is one driver I'm slightly concerned about.
1.2 back. You're okay.
20th position. Pretty far back. But again, very early in this race, 19 laps in the book of 150. And as we're closing in on lap 20, this is going to be that transitional phase. I was touching on drivers that were maybe using that outside lane, being super aggressive on their tires. They're going to start to feel that hurt and pain here very shortly. But if we look back to last week, in most mile-and-a-half tracks, Robert, it has been very awkward on the timing that you want to come into pit road. The fuel limit for these drivers going full bore around 45 to 48 laps. That is just outside the...
You guys are running matching laps, 31.9s.
But if you focus on fuel saving, you can't turn this race into a 2-stop run.
I think he's got me now.
So we look back last week, went for the 3-stop, and it was the much faster way to go. But the time in the yellows hurt those drivers at the end of the day.
If you're getting tight in his air right there, back up your corner a little bit so you're not right there, and you get back to the bottom.
I don't think these cars like that. It's all about keeping the tires on the car and running at full speed. It's a very momentum car where you just got to keep going, and don't save.
There you go.
Let some cautions, land right into your lap. And I mean, now you might as well just go to Las Vegas. You're rolling the dice and hoping that.
And as long as he does this right there, and he opens up the clean air for your left front, you'll be able to plant.
Strategy. I think 3-stop is the way to go.
And the driver that Max
doing great, Brian.
On that 3-stop strategy last week, Brian McCann, who was the ultimately top dog, fastest driver of that run. Curtin runs in 2nd at the moment. The driver that's tagging
you got a baby coming out of 2.
Ryan Kelly up front. Both championship drivers started 1-2. They've stayed 1-2. Our top 3 have not moved at all in positions for based off where they qualified. But Ryan Kelly, Brian McCann, they are pulling away from Bryson Hicksonbon. I think for Bryson, he's trying to pace himself, slowly closing in on Ryan Kelly, but these drivers really on it and trying to stay as focused as they can.
Well, we can watch the focus here.
Bryson Hicksonbon now 1 second back. Larry Yingling is 1.9 back.
And man, my arms would fall off the way he runs his cars and the steering inside of them, Sam. I mean, he's getting a workout. I don't care what anybody says. It might be a sim game, but man, you just watch how he he manhandles and muscles that car around, the track.
Yeah, and the big reason why he's manhandling it as much as he is the wheel type that we're seeing McCann use. He's using what we call a direct drive wheel. It gives you more sensation and are able to feel a lot more of the car based off of, instead of just gears that are inside of the steering wheel. There's a lot more technicality to those wheels that cost a lot more than your normal $100, $200 steering wheel that most drivers start
His
at.
last 4 laps, 32s. Highest is a 32.1.
Good for him.
Yours, 32.1s also. You're fine.
Still trying to, chase down.
That's out of 32.285.
Whoops, I just hit the wrong button. Ryan Kelly looks, I do apologize. I muted myself there, Sam. He's still trying to chase down Ryan Kelly here, but right now Ryan Kelly's just looking, it looks like he still looks pretty good right now, and he's just taking it nice and easy.
Yeah, I would say our top 3 all in a pretty similar spot, taking it pretty easy, running aggressively up front. It's everyone that's further on back. This is just outside our top 10. We're watching this battle for 12th place.
And 2 of yours swapping fastest laps between the 2 of you.
Cameron
Thing is, one mistake,
tight squeeze
2/10.
through the quad oval as they set up for turn number 1. Anthony Gaudio also trying to get their way through, and the 2981, watch out, they're squeezing off the
I ain't made one yet, but it's getting tough.
for that battle. It's still
Okay.
for 3rd place.
You're okay.
As you were talking about that, I was just in the back.
Keep your head in it.
Lollipop.
Dixonbaugh now half second behind.
This car was doing the same thing, man, with the 7.
Dingling 2+ back.
Wheeling it. Oh boy, what do you see?
Pitsenbaugh is not a playoff driver, right?
29 in the center of the corner, they keep it straight, but Tamer is
No, he's not.
trying to hold on. And this is right in front of our championship contender of Shantarian. He does not want to see these drivers squeezing or making contact, especially around him here at this moment. And this is that risk factor that we kind of talked about. You start in the back, you have that bad qualifying run, you have to work your way through the field. You get to this point in the race where drivers are very close to making wrecks with one another.
Well, yeah.
No stage breaks.
But again, we said lap 25 right now. We're going on lap 30 here, Sam. These tires are now feeling it. If you overcooked them, you're going to struggle like you see Tamer here and Ollie and everybody else that they're just sliding these car, wiggling it, coming out, man. And I'm telling you, these guys are doing a good job as Tarian's still against Tamer here, side by side.
Side by side, and get to this point of a race, so much pressure on Championship 6. We're seeing them running well as Tamer
7 laps.
vehicle off the wall and make sure does not make contact. But all these,
Yes, sir.
you're not a playoff driver. Your ultimate goal is just to get the best finish for some. Maybe you've had a rough season. You're just trying to get back that momentum before we go into season 9, which exciting news. Season 9, these drivers will be coming back for the WSSR, moving to the next gen vehicle, moving away from the Gen 4. And so for some of these drivers here,
63 is running that middle line through 1 and 2, and then the bottom in 3 and 4.
ultimately find good momentum that you can work off of, or go for wins and maybe be a little bit of a thrill or stealing the ship to our championship 6. But one driver that isn't really losing any touch, it's up to 7th now.
Yeah.
Benjamin Nelson here, Robert, is doing a fantastic job at moving forward.
I'm looking at the lap times right now. He's just about a 10th off Ryan Kelly right now. So it's last lap. We'll see what he runs here as he's
I
getting
can't do that.
that start finish.
Holy crap.
But Ryan
Okay.
ran a 30.
All right, just run your line then. 63 is going to try to look inside. Left
You can
rear.
have it.
So now he was like 2/10 fast.
At your door.
So
You got the high side momentum.
and that's
Door to door.
too, as some guys are struggling.
Hold your line.
Seeing in the back half of the field,
Left front.
lap 32,
Clear.
front guys seem like they saved their tires a little bit better, and they're not as struggling as much as the back half of the field.
Yeah, I would say they've done a very good job right now. Just right
Wow.
at this moment, as Nelson has a slight wiggle off the exit, but a pass for 2nd place. Bryson Hicksonbaugh finding some good speed for himself up front.
I'm into lap 34.
The 63, as we're starting to get to that changing factor of drivers that are aiming for the 3-stop. They're expected to hit pit road here in the next, I would say now until lap 45 is going to be their window that they're aiming for the drivers are going for a 3-stop. The 2-stop strategies get to lap 50 or 51. Some try to go a little bit further than that.
I'm learning how to not wreck right now.
Well, we saw one of the first drivers really be slipping and sliding with his.
Brian Noel's on pit road.
About here, this 63, he was just kind of
not a chase contender
for most of this race, staying about within a second, so within striking distance and checking his tires. He's now on the move, catching up to Ryan Kelly. Other drivers are on the move. Shane Terrian, he has now made 2 passes since we were watching the battle between our top 3.
working lap 35.
52 of Cody Reed.
Yeah, he got past Cody. Well, he's trying to set up Cody Reed here, but I wanted to go back and talk a little bit about Sam. As he's got, man, oh my goodness, Ollie Fonseca, I'm telling you, that is the 4th time now, Sam, that I've seen that car do that.
Yeah, and he got a little bit of a tap from his teammate. Somehow they kept it straight. These vehicles that we've stopped.
How about right there on the tribal?
You give a bump, and most likely one or both
Hold on a minute.
spinning around. The teammates.
All right, so if you're coming in this or next time, don't forget any adjustments that you got to make to the brake bias.
37. I need to come in 37.
Fall backwards. The way Ollie's been struggling off the X.
All right, 10-4, I'm going to set you up.
Next lap.
And a powder keg waiting to explode with how close they are.
Yeah, well, let's hope the keg don't explode because that would be one crappy of a mess.
It's as Ross Tatum drifts in front, puts some dirty air on the front of the 81 machine of Jason Tamer. Hold steady. We're so
All right, sir, you're all set.
so we can get some fresh rubber for this group, unless all of them are thinking stretch it out as long as you can. At this moment, still only
2 seconds back to Larry Yingling, so you got some gaps behind, or is a gap behind you to come on down pit road.
Could be that everyone's thinking of 2-stop here, which, I mean, if everyone's doing the same strategy, doesn't hurt you too bad to continue on the way most of these drivers have been going.
Yeah, very true. I mean, if everybody's going to do it, then
Good job, Brian.
there's no
Way to be aggressive.
right? I mean, it's, that's perfectly fine then.
I did say 37, right? And
Nobody came with you.
He's got to
That
start,
message I sent to you.
pit stops
Yes.
here, Sam. I want
Yes. I got you.
2 seasons ago, they ran the next gen cup as a season, after their
Yeah, we need to stick to that.
They ran the next gen cup cars, and they were good. But from then until what we're going to have next season, those cars changed from way back then to now with iRacing giving the updates.
Come, don't speed.
Changing things with the cars. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys hop back into those cars.
By the way, it was 38 and 39, which you're following. You came in on 38, leaving 39.
Because we haven't seen much of them except for Thursday night. It's the only time we ever see anything going on right now. As I'll shut up here, as we do got pit stops going on here, Sam.
We certainly do have pit stops. One driver going to get caught with a
I watched new tires.
tree and speeding. Douglas Newbigging in the 7. He's now 30-second hold, hitting a lap prior to these drivers we just saw on screen coming to pit road. Was
Yeah, remember that. Well, actually, I think it'll work out.
initially of Ryan Kelly, Bryson Hicksonbaugh, and Brian McCann have all hit pit road. They're aiming for that 3-stop strategy. And other drivers for the next round going to be Benjamin Nelson going in by himself. Interesting that he waits an extra lap. But all these drivers that stay out a little bit longer. This is a gutsy call to continue to stay out if you're aiming for the 3-stop strategy.
He's going to have to check up. You're going to take this here.
All of Marcus Daly.
You are clear, sir. Good job.
And try to get the advantage of cutting down a full pit stop, which would be save about 30 to 40 seconds if you can do it properly. But more drivers at pit road, Cedric Hunter, John Ford, they make their stop.
They make their stop here, but you still got Larry out here. You still got Brian.
You are the first car 1 lap down if the caution should happen to fly.
Zach Hall, Shane Terrian, Cody Reed, Mason Cassidy, Ollie Fonseca, Ross Tatum. These guys here, they got nothing to lose, right? I mean, so might as well go for the long run and see what you can do, and hopefully the cards fall into your hands here as well. Oh my God! Well, that's one way to enter.
Some pit entries. Larry Yingling just ships it down into the pit entry spot, and luckily, the marker to hit your pit window or your speed mileage window isn't right at that concrete wall. It's a little bit further, and Yingling able to slow down inside. These drivers, for most, going about 147 miles per hour at their slowest through the corners. You have to slow down to just 45 miles per hour, and somehow Larry Yingling hit the mark and did not get called with a black flag.
He entered pit road at 180 miles per hour. Says from what it looked like. And
oh no! Oh no! That is a lot of time, and he's pointing in the wrong direction. He's going to be perpendicular with the wall. He's got to get pulled.
Zach Hall wrecked or spun around.
Does, but all the time lost for Zach Hall in a scary position, especially with the chance of oncoming traffic. That could have been a mess that would have happened. Luckily, no black flag.
Sitting P8, back inside the top 10.
How long that spin was, I thought.
Ryan Kelly's still behind you, a half second.
Forward. That's it.
But when this cycles through, you'll be the leader.
More seconds.
You got all kinds of clean track in front of you.
Well, he's going to need a caution to get back into the mix here.
Yeah, most definitely. And normally Zach has
tail end is just now going into one.
Stops. You know, entering his stall, not coming into the pit road. You know that he might be working on a new trick there, Sam.
Right, maybe hanging around the wrong drivers. Maybe. I think maybe at the same point, it's hard to slow down with these Jet 4 cars. These brakes are not kind when you try to slow down, especially with some of these drivers. They change their brake bias on where they feel most comfortable. They want to use their brake during the race. They'll push the brakes more to the rear end. So if you hit the brakes very aggressively as you come into pit road, you might loop the car around and spin out like I saw up there for Zach. And other drivers know it is very difficult if you make the wrong adjustments to recover. But that spur moment, still waiting for Brian P. Johnson, Shane Terry, and Nick their pit stop.
All right, buddy, 30 laps.
Tatum, Christopher Wade, Nick Crawford, Christopher Norris. 7 drivers still out on track, and it would then mean out as long as they have. You'd think they're aiming for lap 50, but Shane Terrian will not hit that window, nor will Christopher Wade. Wow. Tatum, 3 drivers.
Wade and Terrian are on pit road.
50, they'll pit on 45.
Interesting. So, and now we still got what? Cody Reed, Brian Johnson, Nick Crawford still out there trying to get at least 4 more laps out.
They're trying to get at least 4. They would love to get 5. 6 would be incredible because they got a little bit more of a bigger window.
By the way, sir, you got that point for leading a lap. Congratulations.
50. It's pit road on lap 46 to 47. And other drivers, if they're going to hit pit road, Christopher Norris won't hit that window. So we're left with just 2 going for the 2-stop. That's Nick Crawford in the 74 and Brian P. Johnson, which, oddly enough, Nick Crawford
You just told me I'm in 4th.
In multiple different series we covered to always be the first driver to hit.
Yeah, you are. You've got, actually, you're 3rd now, waiting on Brian Johnson and Nick Crawford to come on down pit road.
Well, stop confusing us, guys. Quit changing up your stuff. We covered you for 17 weeks.
I have patterns. I have my notes. Try to do the Larry Knight if possible, and then you just throw all out the window at times. And one driver that also going to be thrown out the window and calling it a day, Ross Tatum. Officially left the server, and he is done and dusted.
Brian Johnson's on pit road. That's going to put you P2.
Going to be getting a black flag for speeding off of pit road. That is a worst nightmare because now he's
okay. So I called that a little premature.
To do a drive-through as Brian P. Johnson won't hit lap 50. He's going to be 2 laps shy. Now can Nick Crawford push his fuel a little bit further as the 74 stays out for another lap? He's got 2 more to at least make the halfway.
I wonder if he's clutching.
Like most likely has to. That's one of the few things you have to do. We'll get a good shot here going into turn number 4, but you also make sure you have a car to drive.
Right.
That's a great save off turn 2, and yep, there's the clutch. You see that RPM number just drop immediately down to 2. Ramps back up to around that 8 to 7 marker. So you see the middle circle. Wait till you see that pin drop. That's clutching that's going on, and he's clutching it very early. This is kind of a tactic that I think back to Kevin Harvick's racing days at Atlanta. That's how he was so good at that track, was clutching extremely early to save that little bit extra fuel. And for Crawford, he's hit lap 50. Will he drive another lap to solidify some more wiggle for later on in this race?
Well, if he does, he better.
You got it. You got the point right there.
He's clutching it going through the trial when he couldn't even keep that car straight going through the trial over there, Sam. That's how bad them tires were down. But no, he's not going to go for another lap. He's going to hit on lap number 50. So he did hit his mark.
Inside.
His mark, but I'm looking at the amount of time lost. Ryan McCann had almost already caught.
Still there.
Crawford by the time that Crawford hit pit road. That is a
Left rear, door.
but the battle lead is on Ryan Kelly, Brian McCann, Bryson Ixenbaugh. These drivers closer than they've been since lap
front.
and it's right
Door.
to the duel, the battle, and the driver with the freshest of tires.
Pinching him down.
And Bryson Ixenbaugh. McCann, though, wants to keep
Ixenbaugh right with you.
it's possible. And Robert, this is the battle that we know can be so crucial, but you don't want to get too aggressive. Big picture here. We're only just finishing the first third of tonight's race. You don't want to...
Ixenbaugh now inside, left rear.
No, absolutely not. You can see there Ryan Kelly getting the run, and now you're going to have Brian McCann backing off a little bit and run the high side. Looks like
63 still inside.
Christopher Wade, I do believe, being a lap down, he's going to come up on these.
The car behind him is not for position.
Now going to look underneath Brian McCann.
And Bryson Ixenbaugh was slotted in second place when the pit cycle initially started. So 63 is just trying to get back to his position right before this whole entire pit cycle started around. Christopher Wade, though, runs 20th behind our top three. And a lap down driver, first driver one lap down, trying to lap himself the hard way. And for Christopher Wade, he is seeing a great battle, but the closer you get, the more nerve-wracking it is. And the longer you continue to run, or the tires start to equal out. There's just a difference of 8 laps between our leaders to the 53 of Wade. Wade needs to make these passes quickly and efficiently, but that same notion, he's the first driver one lap down, so if a caution does come out, he's back in the fight.
Going to be back in the fight, and then out here all lonesome by himself here, 5 seconds behind the leaders here is going to be Ken Campbell running in 4th position. He had Zach Hall, running right there with him, but with that Zach Hall's little issue that he had, here is Zach Hall all the way out here by himself now, Sam, running in 18th position at that pit road entrance mistake.
Yeah, mistake 432, staying out so long for Brian P. Johnson. Both of those drivers are over 23 seconds off of where our leader was now.
All I can say is Ryan Kelly's got it figured out.
They need a caution to get back into the fight. Here's Brian.
Ixenbaugh's faster than him.
Though.
Hold on.
Me and Ron did the same thing, same turn.
That was not for permission, or I keep saying permission, position.
Hit compared to Ryan Kelly and Bryson Ixenbaugh, but that should have only given away maybe 8 seconds at most.
39 inside. Again, not for position.
He's lost over. He was inside of our top 10 when the pit cycle started.
Yeah.
How's Nelson lap down?
Looking at it here right now, I'm going to figure it out.
Nelson right now,
he's a lap down in front of me.
Back in 21st.
Ladies and gentlemen, at a 37.6 and had a 14.4 pit stop. So
you should have lost maybe a half second.
Yeah.
That math.
Three, just let them go. He's not even going to bother. He's big picture racing.
I think though, and that's Nelson is almost about to get his lap back, and Bryson Ixenbaugh through all that complication and trying to get around by lap cars. It's the 63 of Ixenbaugh, now your new leader here tonight as Nelson.
And he did it at the right point, because if he leads from here on out, the 3 cannot get most laps led. That'll put you guys right at a tie still, depending on finishing position.
But for the field here tonight, soon to be 60 laps in the books of 150. It's been a fun one to cover so far, as we will take our first commercial break of the night. It's been a pleasure to watch. Nelson back on a lead lap. A few other drivers trying to get back to the lead lap as well. You're watching the WSSR Roast the Gems Cup.
All right, we're looking for lap 76.
Race 1 of the championship round. We'll be back right
Is that the number I gave you?
Yes.
All right.
outside.
74 outside, coming fast.
Still there. All
Clear up.
clear, all clear.
Damn, in practice it
38, 76, 114.
it got better in the run, but right now it's not getting better. It's almost kind of like it's getting worse.
1-1.
Oh my!
Dirty air making you turn, more scrub and a little bit more hold on. Wait, good job.
That's the thing I was talking about. You lose 2/10.
Hi, Larry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that. Trying to make that easy and painless for us both.
13.
Gamble's 5 seconds behind you.
How is Ron Kelly doing it?
Take a look.
Damn, I can't keep up with that. I gotta get on the throttle to keep up with it. I just can't.
They're 5 wide behind for fifth. Oh my, the 5 wide here. This ain't gonna work. They make it last. Bumping and banging to the end. They're beating banging for the lead. Sora still with the shot here. Coming off a 4. That's it.
He's turning to the right all the way around the track.
The corner gets run. It's gonna be that Nick Crawford. The 74 gets through somehow, and they just completely demolish one another. Driving down low, drifting up, trying to be the stealer. Cedric Hunter, he steals it. He somehow drove it into the wreck. They wrecked each other. The top two.
Going through the tri-oval, he's at 1 o'clock.
Too much of side drifting off of, and they gotta be careful. Oh no, the 4 demolishes in the 28.
He is all about that right rear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaky Fast Broadcasting on your Wednesday night. My name is Sam Dyer. With me up in the booth, as well as the double duty of a Warrior Jr. with me as you're watching the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series, the Season 8 Championship round, and a couple of drivers in that zone where we were seeing tire wear hurting driving during the first run. Now in the second run, similar drivers having trouble. Jason Damer slipping and sliding, but he is still very far away, about another 5 to 10 laps from his next pit stop. That's driving the number 8.
I need tires. Oof.
Cycle and aims for their
Larry Engling is 4.5 back, coming to lap 70 and next time.
Dominance of Bryson Dixonbaugh, Ryan Kelly, and Brian McCabe.
We're looking for 76 and out on 77.
Though caught with some pit road mistakes. If you're just joining us, in the likes of Douglas Newbig, caught with a black flag penalty, but unsafe pit entry. Christopher Norris had to pit for a second time after a speeding penalty off the exit. And drivers have yet to throw a yellow, but we might see it here as Danny Cochran as well as Jason Tamer have been getting mixy, and it's more so they're racing the car more than their competition around them. And at some moment, it feels like they're going to collide. And Robert,
It's more laps.
and these drivers have looked like this, it feels like almost all night. And somehow, 70 laps in, no caution.
No caution yet, but, you know, I don't know if you're trying to use that jinx word because we're really good at it, but right now these guys are not beating and banging, but they're slipping and sliding now because they got 30 laps on their tires now. Each one
How many?
of these guys got 30 to 31 laps on their tires now.
5 more.
Seeing the cars starting to get crazy and wicked loose and all over the place, Sam.
Yeah, it's certainly all over the place, and a constant trying to just save the machine from going to the inside wall.
This is by far the most challenging track this season.
The likes of Danny Cochran, also Anthony Gaudio.
I thought last week was bad.
A couple of times. Ollie Fonseca has gotten rear-ended once tonight, and they're just trying to hold steady while the
Last week was cake compared to this.
drive around you at the time. There's one driver. Oh, speaking of contact, Tamer, Douglas Newbigin going to make contact. The 81 keeps it straight. We stay green, but Tamer is not a driver you want to get into a motion there. But that was a very close spill of a
Coming to lap 73.
keep at it. Just looked like the 81 overcorrects, loses the car, trouble for himself, and a very early pit stop. Going to be for Ollie Fonseca into pit road for the 24 machine. First driver to make the stop for the second cycle.
32.638.
They're not ready for the second cycle yet, though, are they?
I mean, technically they could if they're going for 30. If you're going for 4 stops, yes, you can make that work. But
Okay.
I see the 3-stop be the best strategy. 2 stops kind of risking the amount of time you're giving up, but a 3-stop seems a little out of here. But some drivers, again, go for a risky call and into pit.
Coming to 74. 2 more.
Jason Tamer, and I feel like also
It's getting worse.
Sega, Jason Tamer, those are 2 drivers that have
Predictably worse.
tires here tonight. They might need to just be forced to 4 stops.
If it's predictable, that means you can steer through it, Brian. You got this. You're doing a great job.
I was just ready to ask you, you know, we had some guys out here, you know, run around and wanting to take that, you know, 2-stop, you know, strategy, and then you have some that started with the 3.
Go ahead and set you up.
Them guys that did the 2-stop strategy, do you think that's going to work out for them, or do you think they're just going to have to bank on a yellow, something happening
Is it this time?
to get them back into the game here?
Well, the only driver
Nope, next time, sir.
to that mark was Nick Crawford,
Right.
16th place. And he's in 16th. He's back on the lead lap at least. But I don't know if Crawford's going to make that work. And the majority of the field not able to even make it to the halfway zone. It makes me a little bit slippy.
He almost wrecked me.
But like we were kind of
He
talking
did.
under
24 high, clear.
this series, and a lot of the series we cover, when they
Dixon Ball just went down pit road. You're coming this time, and you're all set.
there's always that high possibility of a late call.
Don't forget to adjust your brake bias.
And speaking about Larry, Matt Trends, it trends at this track at least 1 caution at every time they ran it at this racetrack, as Bryson Hicksonbaugh now hits it into pit road. Kim Campbell also going to be following suit, but last season, here for season 7 of the WSSR, they had 1 caution. All other races of past 3 after that had 4 cautions back in season 5, 4 cautions for season
Respun, stay to the outside.
the inaugural Charlotte race in season 2.
There you go. Good job, Brian.
Not a lot of cautions are thrown
Right.
at this racetrack, but they know at least one
He may have got a penalty.
for it to be late in this race.
Yeah, right. Well,
I'm kind of curious about the same thing.
there's Sam Mack, friend out there. I just changed your last name. I hope you don't mind. But we got Cameron Sarton here entering pit road. We got John Forbes coming in entering pit road here now, Sam. As we're going to keep Cedric Hunter out here running, and Larry is going to stay out and lead a couple more laps here. But
All right,
yeah,
that's
so
it. Go.
Come.
how the trend.
You got a penalty.
And see if we do get.
There you go. There's your answer.
Or because we know if you get one yellow,
Watch the blend line.
probably going to be more yellows because yellows breed yellows, and especially
Listen, Larry,
here at
caution, let me say
WSSR, you know, Rooster Jam Cup.
There you go, sir.
He is mad at
you
himself
clear
right
track.
now. Thank you.
Aggressive after a yellow because now it's all about getting spots.
Yeah, they get aggressive, and also drivers are getting very aggressive on their pit entries. Some are getting
No caution,
contact with one
and
another.
it's all on me.
This middle of the cycle, drivers are entering pit road compared to those that have already made a pit stop and on faster tires and are just going, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour faster.
All right, again, you were the first car one lap down.
In trouble from time to time. Is Larry Yingling, Shane Terry going to be your top two currently, waiting for when they're going to be hitting?
Lower traffic ahead, definitely.
It's time to shout out our amazing sponsor, which is what all the drivers are hunting for, and that is Trophy Snack Trophies. Benjamin Nelson got to hoist his first trophy last season.
There's 67,
Second
under the 38, and clear.
Yingling, who leads tonight's race, got his own Trophy Snack ring. And if you'd like to get yourself your own championship ring,
All right, Brian, again, you don't have to push.
over to Trophy
Just maintain, sir.
Go check out their wide selection of great items, so you can go get pre-made trophies, or you can customize them to your own liking. Again, go to trophysmack.com, and when you're purchasing, remember to use
Back in the Pete, back in the top 10
SMAC for 10% off on all
on the lead lap.
purchases. Thank you so much to Trophy Smack for being the main sponsor for the WSSR Roast the Gems Cup Series, as Larry Yingling still leads the way. Driver that's actually won this race twice at the last 4 times we've been here to look at those trends and say he was the odds-on favorite coming into tonight, but kind of weird.
Man, Ryan Kelly's really hating that because he didn't have to do that. He had me beat by a mile.
Not as much dominance as we've seen in seasons past with 67.
Yeah, and it could be the car too. You know what I mean? Because
Accidents happen.
some vehicles fit others as we went 3 wide there.
What's the next lap you pit on?
But what I was getting to is that
Next one we're looking for is lap 114, out 115.
you favor a certain car and can race another car, but not like it. You know what I mean? You can race it, but you're just not fast in it. And that's iRacing does some kind of update that makes it mysterious feel good, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, this car fits my driving style, but also real quick before you answer that stuff there, we have somebody out there wanting to know who the season the way to find out who the season 6 championship is. I know WSSR has a website. I do apologize, I don't have it on hand.
It's really easy to blow that pit entrance because you have to get all the way down to 45.
Season 6 champion.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he was looking to see who are the 6
And on extremely old tires, yeah.
My bad.
The 15 of Ken Campbell, the 32 of Zach Paul, as well as the 3 of Ryan Kelly, the 8 of Brian McCann, 79 of Benjamin Nelson, and the 9 of Shane Terry. 6 drivers running for the championship. We were trying to get color-coded for the ticker. The colors have a mind of their own, so we actually had to take that away. We hope to maybe have that in the future if we can get coordinated in the ticker proper.
There you go. Underneath this 79, clear.
Run down of who our 6 drivers are. Currently, Larry Yingling runs in first. Shane Terry is the highest runner of our championship 6 drivers at this moment in second. But we're looking at drivers that we think that may are our championship 6. I think Brian McCann yet to win this season. Probably should have won last
There again.
Kentucky.
P7.
Kind of yellows kind of took away that win he was hoping for. And looking at Ryan Kelly, Kelly was going to be a favorite, but an issue under pit road.
Oh, no.
Ryan Kelly, black flag held for the free machine. He is looking for a caution to get back into the mix. It is now a two-horse race if we continue at this pace between Bryson Hicksonbaugh and Brian McCann to see who can get the win here tonight as Shane Tarrant hits pit road.
Well, that's the thing. I said it at the beginning.
With those going down pit road, that's going to put you P5.
As long as he's finishes in front of these guys, right, Sam? I mean, that's a good sign to go into next week's last race. I mean, the more of these other championship guys, the other 5 guys that he's racing with, keep having issues, and as long as he doesn't have an issue, he should look pretty good. But he's not going to have a big points lead, but still, because you packed what 25, 30 cars next week at this.
Glad you're getting by him right there. He's loose.
If he finishes 30, he could lose the championship.
Oh yeah, I'm taking it easy on pit road.
The drivers had to race for the last season.
I practiced the crap out of it.
Last race next week. That race, we had a caution every 20 to 30 laps because of how much wear and tear.
Dingling's coming down pit road. It's going to put you P3 behind Johnson and Hicksonbaugh.
Race like we had last.
Johnson was last in on lap 48. Hicksonbaugh is right with you 1 lap earlier.
Here this evening, but again, the way that the playoffs work, if you're just joining us for the first time watching the WSSR playoffs, originally
You're darn right about that, Derek.
made it into the playoffs. We had ourselves 3
I can get a little excited.
to where we're at.
You've seen it. We've all seen it.
Championship round of 16 had 2 races.
What was that one time in Indy? I looped it in the pits.
Then we had a round
I didn't slide through. I actually looped the car.
16 to 11. We raced at
Oh, wow.
in Legacy, Kentucky last week. And now we're down to our final 6.
I did that at Legacy Atlanta twice in 1 race and gave it away.
Points starting tonight, and we'll see who has the most points after tonight's race at Charlotte and next week at Kansas to see who will take the season 8 championship. And also the bonus points the drivers are aiming for tonight's run. Lead a lap, get 1 bonus point. Lead the most laps, get 1 bonus point. The win in other leagues is a pretty big bonus point you can grab as well, but it's only 1 bonus point here tonight as well. So the drivers and a lot of bonus
We were consistently faster than the leader.
positioning in front of them.
Well, now faster than P2. Brian Johnson just lost the lead to Hicksonbaugh. He's 2.5 ahead of you.
For the 24.
Ken had a problem. He lost a second on that last lap.
2 here. Now we got to be very careful here because he's been fighting that car all night, Sam. And it ain't the first time we've seen that car get, a little sideways.
I'm with you, Derek.
We'll have to see, if he can just keep that thing underneath him, which he has all race. As we got Shane Tarian looking down up underneath here. Now you got Bryson now going to number 63. It's going to look underneath Ollie Fonseca. So he's going to make that. It looks like he's going to get him going into turn 1. So, all right. Well, I mean, we're 91 laps into this thing. When do we start making other pit stops here?
Hey, outside clear.
Window is open for these guys.
It certainly is open, and for some drivers are entering pit road. And again, we have the drivers that originally were going for the 3 stop. Most of those drivers are still in a very good window where they're not going to be pitting for another, let's say, 20 to maybe 25 laps. Drivers are pitting now, Christopher Wade being one of them. They were not able to make it to lap 50. They are stuck in a horrible position.
Johnson's right in front of you. That's P2.
Around lap now 92 until
And clear.
98.
Back outside.
Next, I would say 5
Clear.
stops.
I had to break big time there.
Going to be for MP Johnson in second. At the
Yeah, he
mistake.
got on the throttle a little bit.
as you're going to be watching Cody Reed in 8th. It's going to be that.
Like Derek was saying, I got a little too excited. Threw it in that turn.
He wasn't able to make that march, nor Anthony Gaudio or Ollie Fonseca. So some of these drivers in some odd positionings. The one driver that's trying to turn this race into a 2-stop.
2.5 up to Hicksonbaugh.
Oh, somebody's just into the wall too. Yeah, that was
Christopher Norris.
Yeah, man, I heard it in my monitor right through my headset. He really smashed that, Sam.
He really did, and that hit was so hard. He's got a required damage flag.
Come on.
Christopher Norris is now forced to go into pit road. Over the radio stated he needs to enter pit road in a race that goes from bad to worse for Norris, as he's going to be going into pit road to get service done. And I believe he got an engine damage. Flowers the wall there on that replay, but we want to stay on board with him because I believe he hits the wall again there, hits it off the exit turn 2. And then when entering pit road, gets caught speeding and hits the top wall, the sand barrels on the entry.
Oh, there's into the wall again, like you said.
Just goes from bad to worse from the start. He just could not stop the wall at this point. That whole entire.
Where's Nelson at?
Toe length on the front end was broken.
Nelson is.
Then he has the scare here, slowing down. on pit entry. Comes in too fast and
21st.
slipping and sliding because he can't steer right. He stays away from it, but he hits the wall at pit entry and
There are no other chase contenders or championship contenders anywhere around you.
top of all the damage that he gets to deal with.
He probably threw his hand.
I just looked through the top 5.
Yeah, he was
This kid not in it.
driver audios and driver talking, and he was very mad when he hit
And Campbell?
the black flag. Back to left
Actually, he just moved up to 4th. Okay.
of this race currently. The field
But he's in it, right?
spot at this time. And
All clear,
pit
all
stops
clear.
Yes.
around 3 to 4
10-4.
members. Still going to be aiming.
The leader just
Most
did a
likely hoping for caution to come out to
32.08.
save some drivers. Others are waiting for this race to continue to stay green and green.
But he's the first one in the playoff near me.
3 inch closer. I think all eyes got to be on Nick.
Yep.
Can he get to lap 101 to 102?
17 more laps, sir.
Well, he's back here running in 7th position, and like you said, that's his what he's looking for. So,
You've kept Hixenbaugh at a steady 2.5 seconds this run.
you know, already if we would hop back in, he did it last time. We'll see if he's clutching it this time.
24
Stay
outside.
low.
Right rear.
Go down the back stretch.
Still there. And
Clear
clear.
high.
Yeah, he's
Clear high.
See that
He was looser than I was. Whew.
dropping immediately. That's the sign of clutching. You also can hear it. Your ear, the engine kind of sound like it shuts off. Pushing into clutch, and it's ways to save fuel. Sure. It's
Oh my
in many
God!
ways, but certainly having a handful with how the car's feeling and trying to focus on saving fuel. It's
Hi, John.
certainly a juggling act that we're seeing in 74
Hi,
right now.
Nick. By the
Yeah,
way,
I
hitting the
mean,
wall
we
with
talk
that.
about, you know, you're struggling going, you know, down the back stretch. You know, you're driving the car straight. That's the easy part, right? Then you get into the turns, you know, example like 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You know, you're going to struggle exiting. The car's going to get snapped.
Campbell's up to 3rd.
Guys are struggling going.
6 seconds behind you.
Tri-oval. Look at that thing just get snapped going through the tri-oval. I mean, that's. I'm just
14 more laps, sir.
right now in that sand.
I mean, from an outside perspective, yes, it can be difficult, but the tri-oval is notoriously sneakily scary at moments, especially this late into a run. These vehicles are tough to handle. It kind of feels like you're slipping and sliding on ice, and you go through the first kink through the quad oval, and you feel confident, and then you're trying to make sure you don't slide up into the outside wall. And with where these tires are at, you almost feel like you want to drift up to the wall to get that extra space to work with, but every lap, there's a slight crush fingers and hold on for dear life moment. But again, talking about drivers that are in a comfortable position, Nick Crawford, who's going for the two stop.
Hold on with it.
He's down to
I got you.
place. And at this moment, if you wanted the two-stop strategy to really work, he's got to gain a lot of time on these drivers that are going to be pitting within the next 2 to 3 laps. And Crawford is about 18, 19 seconds.
You and Hixenbaugh are sharing fastest laps back and forth.
So it's a lot of work that Nick Crawford's going to get back in the lead, and he might need some luck to get the timings right for him to be the leader right when the yellow flag comes out.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, right now, what you're seeing is so far behind. You know, he's going to go and get fresh tires. He can't run it, you know, extremely nuts because you're going to burn off them tires then, you know, within the next 30 laps. That leaves you with
Last 10 laps absolutely sucked.
So, I mean, even now he's down to 15 laps to go. If you would run it,
He's loose coming off 4, coming through the tri-oval also. Maybe a little less.
than what you're going to gain.
But Nick Crawford did get to that window he was looking for, which is around lap.
I know I'm complaining a whole bunch, but man, I'm over here sweating. My arms hurt, shoulders hurt.
No? Man, I get it, no doubt.
Excuse me, that's going to be Cameron Sargent.
Even the broadcasters were talking about your
Championship 6 driver.
manhandling the wheel.
Cedric obviously just missing out on making the championship 6 as he was the highest runner, missed out by 2 points moving on and being a championship driver. And those close margins always going to be hurting you.
When I come off of 4, it is literally burning out.
Here at Charlotte in the past may need a little bit of help if he wants a chance to win, but I'm impressed with what we're seeing from this 13 really have. Yes, he made it to the playoffs. Yes, he made it to round 11, but it has been a struggle of season for Cedric.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Your tires last time by were 48.39.
Yeah, I mean, he made it to the playoffs, like you said.
Brand new.
A great season and made it to the playoffs, but
Yeah, they were new. Yeah, well, the tires that came off last time.
it's not all there for him.
Put them on. We'll run them again.
We know Cedric. We've seen Cedric.
No. Anyway.
He's a fast driver. We know he's got the talent to do it. We've seen him get raced.
We got a
Coming to
problem,
lap
though.
106, sir.
I'm excited.
Got a little problem.
It's not changing this.
I do have to sweat in my eye.
What's that?
Excited for seeing next season number
Well, you have to call your wife down and ask her to dab your forehead for you.
of the crop. Who's going to stay in the middle and who's going to?
If I can get it right here.
Because we're going to a whole new car,
There you go.
and
I got the right one. Now I got to get the left one.
I'm excited, Sam. I know we got one more race to go to finalize here, but season
we can
8,
figure out.
I think, is going
I can't do it through the tribal.
to see coming.
Kevin to go at the line this time, sir.
7. That's good news. It's better than 8.
Season to watch.
I want to do 8 again.
I
agree.
It's the season 8 championship round. 8's in the out there. The 8's fast out on track. 8's just the number out there tonight. But for these drivers, yeah, next season, I got a preview of what the upcoming schedule is going to look like.
Yeah,
There you go.
We're not going to share it, but it is the most bizarre schedule. I think these drivers, the first 8 races of next season, none of them are what you traditionally see for racetracks.
Not
their
even.
schedule,
Not
You
even.
gained time on Ken Campbell. You're now up over 7 seconds.
willing to adapt to the new car and the tracks we're going to. They're going to have the most success. And next season certainly going to be an eye-opening season.
79's coming up outside.
This is again
And clear.
second to last race of the season, the first race of the championship round. Right now it's Bryson Hicksonbach trying to go for his second win of the season. The 63 has been quick up front. Behind him is Brian McCann and the 8 machine. And as we're watching most of this Anthony Gagno and Zach Hall battle, this is for 12th place. A window of a driver that we talked about at the start of the broadcast. How is Ken Campbell in third?
Good more, sir. 5.
Cinderella story. The driver that's been under the radar all season long. We barely talk about Ken, it feels like, most weeks. He's in third place here tonight. This is one of his better runs of the season.
Yeah, maybe we should stop talking about him.
That's what's got him here. It feels like.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, we have to talk about him. He is one of our championship 6 contenders.
All right, well, Ken, I tried, Ken. I tried.
Hey, I've been trying to work my, you can call it voodoo magic of Compton's curse. Whole race long. We're 110 laps in. If you're just joining us, we've had zero caution so far. Linking issues for the 3
Oh, we don't
in
see
front of
that.
Johnson and Ken Campbell seeing all the lap cars around him at this moment, and none of them are 4
Coming to lap 111, 3 more.
Just trying to figure out how do I slide around all the Fonseca while watching the other drivers race. This 24's been having trouble here tonight. Let's go down low, and this is cross fingers hope for the best moment as the 15 and the 24 get side by side off the exit of turn number 4, and they make it through as Ken Campbell tries to continue his way forward.
Yeah, he continued his way forward. Now he's past my Ollie is. I don't know how he's keeping this car underneath him, Sam. I mean, we're gonna have a spotlight driver.
Working on 8 seconds back to Campbell. Doing a great job.
I mean, it's just this car in general. It's the Gen 4 is how you control a car that basically will
It's
be
evil.
fighting you at every moment, and you have to figure out how to keep it straight while it's kicking out sideways and carrying as much speed as possible under sideways. That's just what the Gen 4 has been.
Not going to be this time. Going in next time.
And certainly these drivers that have been here running in season 7 through season 8 have gotten that experience, and they're able to just hold on.
You're all set up?
For some, others, they're moving fast, and Christopher Wade having a little bit.
Next time,
Actually,
right?
take that back. One more, Brian. Yeah.
These drivers as Wade, Cody Reed, Cedric Hunter, all on top of one another as we get ourselves prepared. The final pit stops are underway as drivers hit pit road, and Ryan Kelly's going to make his
Up on a slower car.
Campbell, Larry Yingling. This is the money stop for drivers that are going for the 3-stop strategy.
Yeah, 3-stop strategy, and they played it all out, and here they go. They're all going to enter in into pit road here, and now we're going to wait to
Got a whole lot of clean track behind you, so no issue getting down to pit road speed.
we can go.
Just adjust your brake bias if needed.
Hunter is going to be on lap 35. You got Cameron Sarton here running
This lap right now.
36. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Forbes on lap 36 here, and then you got Shane Terry on lap 27. Interesting.
Yeah, it was 27 laps ago. Those were how many laps ago? These drivers were in pit road.
Good job.
Just running around and waiting for when they're going to make their stop. Cedric Hunter, the most recent one. Douglas Newbegin as well. 2 laps down to 7. I know his struggles here tonight. Another one of 5, 6 drivers you could write down and note that when needing the caution flag to come out once this pit cycle is concluded. Bryson Hixenbaugh continues to stay out as long as possible. Brian McCann now hits pit road, and for Hixenbaugh over the radio, he is pitting this time by for the 63. And this should be gifting the lead.
Ready?
All right, start.
Go. Come.
Machine. To see.
Don't speed. Watch the blend line.
One of our top 3 contenders have a bad pit stop of getting a black flag, but Bryson, smooth, hits his marks. And that is a clean entry. Not expecting a black flag for that 63.
No, and now we're going to watch 2 other drivers come down here.
Good job. 52 clear.
Fonseca, we got Cameron Sarton making their pit
Clear track.
So everybody's making their pit stops here, Sam. It looks like who you got here? John Forbes is coming in. Who else have we got entering pit road here? Danny Cochran's coming in.
Got one outside.
Who's staying out? Nope, James Heater. Whoa, almost hit the wall for James.
Almost hit the wall, still out.
Clear 5-2.
So Benjamin Nelson, Bryson Hixenbaugh is going to be already leaving pit road. And leaving pit road, it's inside the top.
How far is Nelson in
Not
front of
even
me?
an issue going a lap down.
Ahead, Bryson was over his competition. And
Nelson is P2 right now.
looking at Bryson and waiting.
9 seconds ahead and counting. You're gaining massive amount of time.
Yeah, I should get him.
In the middle of the season at Las Vegas is how he won. Was taking it slow, let other drivers kind of be the pace setters for the first stint, and then Bryson, second pit stop, took the lead and never looked back, and he is doing a very similar run here at Charlotte. As now the leader, Shane Terrian. When will we see the 9 make his pit stop? And Nelson in second, and both these drivers
Shane Therian's the leader, so he's going to gain a point for leading a lap.
outside of the top 20 coming into tonight's race. And a miracle might be needed. They both have great pace to run up front. Just the qualifying run really set these drivers so far back for the 9 and the 79.
That it did, Sam. So I think what they need to do for them too, for the 9 and the 79, is just run this out now and try to bank on the yellow and just see how
2.1 behind Hixenbaugh. Just manage, Brian.
keep the car going forward, which they have all race here.
Long stretch this time.
Just run it out until you run out of fuel or get really close to it, and like I said, hopefully a yellow comes out.
They're open over the best. Nick Crawford, who's kind of been our control car, if the driver went for a 2-stop strategy run, he's already fallen down to 9th place. I know there's about 4 or 5 drivers that still need to pit in front of the 7th quarter, but Nick Crawford, I don't know if he's even going to get a top 10 finish with the pace I'm seeing of drivers around Crawford at this moment. Yingling will move up to 8, pushing Nick Crawford.
What was my tires that time?
Hunter in the wings waiting to make that. Same for Chris.
Second now. Good question.
It's going everywhere.
55-49.
In the wrong direction, I'd say, for the 7th quarter.
So it did get better.
But you know what? I got to give these guys credit.
Yes, it did.
Just didn't feel like it.
Do the voodoo
It was all due to that close traffic.
balls and all that stuff, and these guys kept it
28 inside and clear.
It's been, the field's pretty well spread out, and we're looking for things to talk about. But
54.
it's been a really great race.
It's been fantastic.
St. Therian just pitted also.
Flashbacks to
So it's Hixenbaugh, Nelson, and then you. Nelson is literally right in front of you.
a lot of green flag racing decisions of you go for the 2-stop and 3-stop strategy. The finish to be faster.
Still there.
This is
New driver P2.
We thought this whole entire season was going to be like was not the
1.6 up to Hixenbaugh.
a very bad mark for the league. A lot of people were frustrated, mad. A lot of cautions were happening.
Nelson last pit on last 86. He's got to go down.
Season to now, and tonight it was honestly the shining star of the season. How well they have been running.
86, that's an odd number.
rookie driver this season that leads the way. Ryan McCann at 8 runs in second. And great run.
Technically, it's even, but
on his points. And it's Ken Campbell, other championship running driver. Looks like a third place finish. What he's aiming for as Benjamin Nelson and Brian P. Johnson both in a position where they need
Clear.
to make it to the end of tonight's race.
And that's shocking, like you said there with Brian, not Brian, Benjamin. You know, I'm so used to seeing him up front battling for the lead, going for the wins and everything. And here tonight, unfortunately, the cards ain't going to shuffle into his hands the way he needs them, and he's just gonna wind up finishing where he finishes here tonight. That's not used to seeing. That just goes to show you, you know, like you said, qualifying. That is such a killer. You know, to make up from the back to the front. It's very, very, very hard to do it.
And Campbell right now is P5, just about 6 seconds back.
You know, everything falls in their cards, in their hands, and some luck, you know, comes that way too. That's why we always stress about drivers out there that say, "I want to start in pit road." That's
Dixon Baugh is not pushing it at all.
racing, right, Sam? I mean, you do that in open server, that's fine. But when it comes to league racing,
Down to less than 2 seconds from him.
qualifying lap, even if it's slow, at least you gave it a shot.
It's a lot of right front damage, I believe.
Yeah, I think putting up qualifying time is always needed. I know for Ben, he made mistakes during qualifying instead of back, but the big thing that hurt Ben for this race is that first pit stop. We still never were given the exact reasoning on when 79 lost so much time.
Yeah.
He was inside of our top 10 when that pit cycle began, and Bell being up almost a full lap down, and from being up inside of 7th after the first pit stops to 23rd, it just never was able to recover back from that moment. There's been a grueler to rebound, and he's going to be one of those drivers.
25 to go, Brian.
Issues happen. Ryan Kelly also caught the black flag, and Brian P. Johnson just couldn't save the fuel for the 28 in a spot where he's going to be about 3 to 4 laps shy from making it to the end of this race, even with saving fuel. It is, Brian's going to need an absolute miracle at this moment. As late pit stops underway, Christopher Wade into pit road, as well as Christopher Norris might be calling it tonight. We want to say thank you again to our amazing sponsors here for the WSSR Roast Gems Cup Series. Major sponsor that is going to be allowing these drivers to host a trophy for season 8 and also help with season 7 trophy.
You got the second fastest lap on the evening.
Pre-made
Kelly's got a 21. You've got a 20.
and championship
28.
trophy.
that's good news and bad news. The fastest lap gets a bonus point,
As well, it's all
but he dropped back so far. He took that bonus point and fell back with it, so he took it away from all my other competitors.
mounted system. As you post
There you go.
wall, if you'd like to have your wall smack there, which would be a custom image of your choice that you place, or if you'd like, just in a few months ago, is there stand to allow you to place your wall smack on a desk, on a shelf, wherever you would like. Remember, when purchasing your wall smacker,
Right now, he's back in 18th.
use promo code WSSR SMACK for 10% off. As we're in the final push of tonight's race, Robert, it's crunch time.
I literally can tell when somebody's behind me when it starts getting loose. I look up and there they are.
As aggressively as you can to grab all these positions back. Under Bryson Hickson Ball, Ryan McCann, Ken Campbell, it's settle in, hope for the best.
You got a few car lengths between.
Battle for third. There are some drivers that are going to be very hungry for a top 3 finish, and it's the 13 of Cedric Hunter trying to run down Ken Campbell while Campbell's being really hounded by lap traffic. But Cedric Hunter has not been on an interview for WSSR for a while, and I know that's something that he's been irking about. He thought he was going to finally get that interview as we had issues during Phoenix.
All right, 52 is going to try to shoot high. He's got momentum on the high side, right rear.
Race with this 13 here tonight.
And door.
Second away from
Right front. And clear.
In that position to have an interview, and I imagine Cedric's putting everything down and trying to go for a top 3 finish here tonight with one.
Just maintaining what I got.
Yeah, he's like a kid in a candy store for it, right, Sam?
That's right. That's all you need to do.
Yeah,
You've got now an even 8 seconds back to Ken Campbell.
We have about like 8 drivers that are like that. we try to be as open to picking a lot of different drivers, not the same guys over and over again, but there's some drivers are always like, it has to be me every weekend.
Right. Yeah, I want to be the spotlight guy. Look at me go.
Some people like interviews, other drivers. We gotta pick on all of them fairly at this time, as Hunter is still less than a second away now. He'll be about 8 tenths off from Ken Campbell for 3rd place, and Campbell wants every point possible. The 15 wants to make sure that he's got the smallest gap that he has to worry about going into next week's race at Kansas. Again, this is the first race of this championship round. Only 2 races for this round. Whoever has the most points during tonight's race combined with next week's race will take the Season 8 championship. Ryan McCann, the 8 machine, is our lead championship 6 driver.
Peter was 31.862. Yours at 31.91.
And then we fall.
So just a couple hundredths off.
8th place where Benjamin Nelson is, but Nelson's entering pit road, so he's going to be giving up all the time positioning in 79. And then we look at our next closest driver, that's Shane Terry.
I think the winner in the playoff gets some extra bonus points, so
By Nelson.
that'd be nice to get that, but there's just no way.
Zach
I don't know what they're doing.
14th place, and Kelly, who had
Yeah, Bryson, he's been lights out.
8.
I'm just glad it's Bryson and not another playoff driver.
Looking for better runs that are not in the playoffs.
Right, absolutely.
Rookie, that's the shining star here tonight. As the laps continue to tick down, trying to go for his 2nd win of the season is the 63 is Shane Terrian. He's got the freshest tires of everyone inside of our top 10, and he's going to be trying to grasp at every position possible until this race is done.
Yeah, there you go, Superman. But yeah, he's got the freshest tires, and you can just see the difference in speed. So we'll see where he's going to wind up at, here by the end of the race here, Sam. With 16 laps to go. But yeah, I mean, and I'm just sitting here watching the ticker between Ken and Cedric Hunter. And Cedric Hunter is slowly catching Ken Campbell. So we'll see where that all, divvies out by the end of the race. But what's going to be very interesting here, next week
Shut up there.
into the race, we're going to have the points from tonight, and we're going to be able to.
We'll check what we got here in a second.
start
This is much easier than packing them back up.
finish in this position, that position, and this position, because this is what you get for leading a lap, the most laps, and things like that. So
I'll take the second right here. This will put us in the lead on points.
here at WSSR by Roasted Gems coffee. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting here.
It's certainly
And it shuts the door for Ryan Kelly and Nelson, who are
races for this championship.
2 of my biggest contenders or competition.
Very different from other series. It's either you go with the full chase format where all playoff drivers are going to have
Right here, we're praying for no caution.
see who gets the most points during that section of races, or you have a full elimination playoff bracket where you eliminate drivers after 2 races, and then you just have the 1 race of whoever finishes.
It's about 9 seconds now back to Campbell.
Series
Doing a great job.
doing the championship. And I enjoy it because
Really consistent.
that's an element of who can be the most consistent.
You've actually got a lap or 2 that's faster than Hicks and Baugh over the last 5.
race. If you have a bad race, you're out of the championship hunt. You have to be consistent for 2. And tonight's been a kind and nice run. So we've been caution-free so far. Everyone knows, especially with how these last couple of weeks have gone down. Just, we get to that window closer and closer to the white.
18 outside, giving you plenty of room. Clear.
The late caution is just
I made him loose when I got close to him.
It could be looming, but I'm now watching here. Shane
You were 2 lanes underneath him.
is
You went all the way up on the wall.
faster than Brian Johnson. So he is now about 3 seconds behind him. He's going to catch Brian Johnson for 7th position by the end of this race.
I think Shane's got a good chance of catching Brian.
Cam.
Catching up to Cam might be a little bit tougher when we go too close in because he's got that
Hold on to it, sir.
Uber
There you go.
7
Hey, look at your buddy.
Right.
to catch up to Cameron Starr. So it's going to be a tough window to get to.
All right.
It's a lot of work.
Clear up.
All clear, all
What's
clear.
into a system is that Cameron Sarton is still running very close to Larry England. Those drivers have been on top of one another for a good amount of the stint. And the battle for third's about to be ramping up.
Yeah.
As Ken Campbell, Cedric Hunter, they are now on top one another.
Time to go, Brian.
Lead, it's Mason Cassidy in the Ford. That's the lap car. See how much of a bumper the Ford machine wants to be for the likes of Ken Campbell, or those four just get out of the lane and let our drivers battle it out for position.
Oh, we'll have to see what Mason Cassidy does, because we know right now, running in that Wake Air or 30 Air is what we want to call it, you know, it's not helping Cedric Hunter. That's only burning them tires off a little bit more, burning behind him, but, you know, Hoffman is all over the place.
And Kaufman getting a little bit loose up in turn two. The same all the way through the back stretch, but a quick scare, but keeps it together. Field, everyone's struggling. We haven't had a caution really reset any of these drivers. We've been clean and green since the drop of this race. Everyone on that mental.
Giving you room. Clear.
9 laps.
Check out.
Race. Everyone's trying to keep it together this moment. One driver that's
Can't go wide open at that angle.
8 to go, Brian. 8 more laps.
the outside wall. The one driver going for the two-stop got on the outside wall at the exit turn of 4. He is very slow, dealing with some damage now that he does not want to be dealing with. And the 4 continues to fall off as some drivers are happy to see mistakes happen. Zach Hall able to make a pass on Nick Crawford, and now going to be seeing 32 as well as the 77. This is pole position.
You made up 10th and a half on Hickson-Bob the last 2 laps.
Back onto the lead lap as Hall is the first driver 1 lap down with the leader right in front of him.
Well, it'd be nice to get back on the lead lap, but, you know, he also got the lucky dog, like you said.
He's up there just cruising.
He issued a pass the 63 with 7 laps to go. I would say
Must be nice.
it's just the type of driver I am, you know, but
Clear 74.
just right there, unless, Bryson passes.
Hope they got good tech after this race.
The lucky dog. Then I would push it a little bit more, but I would just settle and ride.
I mean, you can't really settle and ride, and you got your racing position with 77 behind you. That's the worst.
5 to go this time.
Zach's worried about Ben Bryson at this moment. 32 continues to just fight back on Brian Lowell. He's just settled. Drivers do hit pit road. Cody Reed not able to make it to the end of the race. 52 will make his stop.
We're in a podium
This is
position.
still leading for Ryan P. Johnson to make his final stop 2 runs in 8 places. Do not believe that Ryan will be able to make it to the end of this run, but he's going to try his darndest.
Oh, they wrecking.
Fuel as far as he can go.
Line up single file.
My God. All right, let me get you ready. Are you coming? You're coming down, I assume, yeah?
Position.
Yeah.
Anthony Gaudio getting by Nick Crawford.
4-2.
Your late yellow.
Four.
Is out, and James Kaufman on the front stretch. Wreck happens, and we are going to be going, I believe,
How much fuel?
overtime.
Oh.
Right, phrasing to you.
8 gallons.
As Kaufman,
All right.
as well as I believe that was the 99 of Cameron Sarton.
All right, you're all set.
Got into one another on the front stretch after Kaufman had issues.
Wow.
4 and
Hey, guess what? You're going to restart on the outside.
No, it is not, Sam. Caution-free race gone. You
Green, white checker, sir.
one caution,
2 tires.
and here it is, ladies and gentlemen. As what?
Kaufman's just
Catch up to
throws it
him.
up.
Don't give him anything.
Oh my
And then
God!
Turns it right into Cameron Sarton.
What the beep was that?
Well, they say it. That was a Kaufman moment.
My God!
That's what it was. It was a moment where you're late in a race. Talked about mental fatigue, and
3, 2,
James Kaufman
1.
just having
Right
a moment
here.
where he breaks loose,
Who was that?
cranks that, and it's going to be Cameron Sarton, 99. And
John.
it's just Kaufman rattles
Oh.
up.
Sorry, I was getting a little
He took
hot
2?
Took 2.
And you were
What?
The leader just took 2. He just took 2.
steering wheel.
Come on. Come. Don't speed.
It's giving me a little bit.
2?
Nice. He took 2.
Really good race for the whole
What?
race, I would say.
He made a mistake.
Big thing here is
I think that's a big mistake.
gasses it up.
You go on him,
It's gonna be all right.
so
Just,
he'll have a little bit of an advantage, but that high side's going to be your friend.
just
Might have went.
Oh, yeah.
that is
52.
I wanted to follow in your footsteps.
Oh, here we go.
This might get interesting.
Go back.
I just, I hope he doesn't wreck me because he's going to be loose as hell. It's going to be undrivable for him. I don't think it's possible.
breaks loose, slams on the brakes, trying to make sure he doesn't get caught up in a wreck, slows down.
Hope he doesn't spin him on the get-go.
Into his
Hell, I spun him on new tires.
down while he's pointing it to the right,
I know.
and just shoves his car out right in front of oncoming traffic, and then
That's what I'm worried about. Him taking me out.
after that incident. It's just bizarre.
He's a good driver, so
Yeah.
And
Derek, I see that too. 140 beats. Slow it down, Brian.
shoots up in front of the
The
99.
race has been extended so we can have a
Alright,
green
well, we'll go
white
back
ticket
live.
finish.
trying to get my hands dry too.
The question is, you know, I give him credit that
I
he
gotcha.
got loose, right, and he saved it. But
I'm gonna go ahead and turn the broadcast off.
Sam, why would you
For me.
pass it up like that?
You guys can still hear it.
have no
Are we
grip.
gonna use
You've been
all three green
everybody's
light checkers?
struggling after 30 laps. You know, all you're doing is just spinning the wheels on ice, basically.
I'm just going to
Depends
keep
on
my
how
mouth
froggy
shut
we're
and
feeling.
not say I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could
Yeah, the
understand.
wheels
But
on
All right, so Ken Campbell behind you. Cedric Hunter, he is not
a lot of questions
A-
thrown out.
chaser. Larry Yingley's not. Shane Therian is.
The reason why
So you got two others inside the top six behind you.
to do our
Brian Johnson
try to change it.
is not.
A different aspect of this, and that's the fact.
Danny
that
Cochran is not. Zach Hall is. And he's back in P10.
for this race. As you're the boss man, I'll
You have three inside the top 10.
you, but I'm not gonna go free.
What? No.
And they go to Kansas next week.
So for this race, with the timing of that caution, it was coming to 6 laps to go. So we're going to reset now. We are officially in overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We have 3 attempts if needed. Drivers just got done with having their pit stops. Currently, drivers that were able to go into pit road to get service done is our top 11 drivers. That will be Bryson Hickson,
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Cedric Hunter, Larry Yingling, Shane Terrian, John.
Interesting.
Oh, you
Can the
just
74 car get
you
an
can only
EOL
control what's
from
in your
the
control,
DRS?
Brian.
Taking the
Just do your thing.
older tires, but we'll be trying to stay out.
The outside is what you wanted on the beginning. Yeah, there was a little bit of spinach from you,
James
but you took off. He's going to have an issue. You're going to be able to drive away.
Nelson, Christopher Wade, and Douglas Newbiggy.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Control your own
close.
We're running over
I'm
now.
gonna close
Crawford, we
the
gotta
stream chat so I can't hear you guys.
Old tires. Crawford,
Everybody.
scariest position. Doesn't even know he's going to have enough
Actually
fuel to
did
make
this
it to
so
the
I
end of
could
this
run you over.
restart.
I'm gonna mute the drivers and then repeat.
Okay.
Asking for an EOL.
Just keep radio clear.
At the very end of the line. We do not have to worry about him now being involved with the
I got you.
here, but for this field, it's going to be 2 laps to go.
From here on out, it's all you anyway.
The green and get a caution on our first lap. These drivers would then go into overtime.
Are you off my spotter?
2. But if we get the white flag, this race becomes official, and it's all about who
Yes, I
crosses
am.
the line first.
All right.
Bryson Hickson
See you at the
took
finish.
2 tires. John Forbes took 2 tires. The
Good luck, sir.
9 of Cameron Sarton was going to be starting
ready?
on the inside row right in front of Zach Hall, dealing with major front end damage and might be dealing
All right,
with
man.
engine
The main
damage.
car's
Still
in.
going to be out there on track. And on the outside, James Kaufman also going to be dealing with damage. So their drivers are dealing with some
Go, go.
Green, green.
out there on
Next car
track.
is the leader.
Can we stay green for our first attempt at overtime?
2 laps
Let's
to go.
find
He
out.
absolutely spun him.
Number 1 of 2 for season 8 is back underway as they hit the throttle pedal. Bryson Hickson ball, Brian McCann, they take off. But Ken Campbell missed hits. The 15. What a launch!
He won.
Up in smoke. He's going
Wee.
far. They're struggling to get going.
Can't celebrate though. Can't celebrate.
But they're wrecking through 1, and we're going
Oh, no.
to time attempt number 2.
Oh boy.
And looking back,
How about that heart rate
Oh,
though?
yeah.
catalyst of where this all happened, it was really the whole entire.
How about that heart rate? 165.
Side. Ken Campbell had a misfire
I was really
on the start of
thinking
the
about it,
race.
but because
Looks
their
like John
car was
Forbes
so loose,
also had a
I figured
misfire,
I was
and
probably gonna
Forbes
die
and
by
Danny
the time.
Cochran made contact, which then sent the 2 going backwards. And from there, Cameron Sartin and Danny Cochran got into one another. The two, watch out as he falls back. The two machines going to get spun.
Dixonbot spinning on the bottom, knocked Ken Campbell back to P5. Shane Therian was brought up to P4.
Pit road now open.
It's a
Oh, so I want to stay on the bottom to
well
block Shane. He's a playoff, right?
Yeah, he's got nothing.
Kaufman doesn't pass me, and I go into the pit.
Yeah, Shane,
well,
yeah.
I still have a black flag.
Oh, Hoffman didn't have nowhere to go. He unfortunately got involved.
It was just a small.
Or do you want top to block Ken Campbell? Because Shane Therian's going to be P4. He's going to be on the high side.
Shane being a playoff driver, Bryson will block him.
But
I don't care about Cedric.
You know, not the best launches for themselves. It should
In bottom, yeah, okay.
And this also enables.
I'm just thinking bottom lane's going to be better.
Weave around the driver.
Yeah. I'm going to pick left side here.
Cameron Sartin, after getting the nose of the 22, spinning the two off of the nose of the 99, he'll be going into pit road, and about 8 other drivers going to get fresh rubber for this restart. But
I think I had a perfect launch on that. I got a little like that, but I corrected and stayed in the throttle.
Why he went backwards, took 2 tires under his piston.
Oh, that was really good.
I was also keeping an eye on Bryson because, boy, he was fishtailing more than I was.
Also took 2 tires. He will not be the control vehicle for this restart. That goes to Brian McCann and the 8 machine.
Yeah, and you've seen a difference in 4 tires compared to 2 tires there, you know, because now we've got Brian McCann leading this race over Bryson, and Bryson lost it going into turn number 1 there, Sam.
Yeah, and with all the other drivers having issues, Cedric Hunter now slots himself up into 3rd place. 4th is now Shane Therian. Ken Campbell's going to fall back to 5th, and other playoff contenders, Zach Hall now instead of the top 10.
Is there a certain part of the restart zone you want me to let you know you're in order to hit the hammer, or are you going to control that?
Everyone
No, just stay silent.
Flag run there with that restart, but the field still stacked side by side, just waiting for those pace car lights to turn off. And we'll give it another try for attempt number 2 of 3 at overtime.
I tell you,
I'm going to try to play it to my advantage.
Drivers that were having issues, you know, from the beginning of the race and the middle of the race.
As being the control car, you've got the advantage.
Playing a game. Even if you don't win, just get the maximum points that you can. I can't stress that enough that you don't need to win.
Anybody that got a penalty,
You don't need it. You want it.
Oh yeah,
they're race car drivers. They're race car drivers. Yeah, their mindsets are never big picture, unless you have a crew chief or a spotter that's giving you live information, and then sometimes you won't make some big moves that may or may not get you in trouble.
Right.
But if you got someone in your ear telling you, hey, you're in a good spot, we're aiming for this position, let's just at least try to get a top 3, let's at least try to get a top 5, kind of can allow the drivers to get a little bit more looser, so maybe they can make some bigger moves that give them a better option. But again, you're aiming for at least the top 5. You want a good chance to go for that championship next week. Top 10 still in a window. Anything outside of a top 10, if you're our championship 6, is a miserable run heading into Kansas next week.
Yeah, because then you're looking at other cars going to have issues, right? I mean, the other 5 drivers that you're racing against have to have issues, and then you probably have to get all the bonus points and lead all the laps, which is, highly doubted that's going to happen, with the strength of the field and how these drivers are here. Anybody in this field can win a race here. So, banking on something like that, no, you don't want to go there.
Yeah, absolutely not. Looking at where our championship 6 drivers are going into this next, and what potentially could be our last restart of the night. You have our leader, Brian McCann. He's one of our championship drivers in 1st. In 4th, we find Shane Therian in the 9 machine. In 5th, we find Ken Campbell. We drop all the way down to 9th place. That's where we find Zach Hall. 10th is where we find Ryan Kelly. And you have to go all the way down to around 16. Benjamin Nelson finds himself being lied. A lot of work needs to be done for Nelson to get back into this fight. If anyone can do it, most likely would be him. But the field is getting ready to go green. We're actually going to extend it one more lap just to make sure everyone's in the right position.
Be the first 3 cars.
just makes it more intense.
And moving everybody around back there. What?
How's everybody doing out there in chat? We didn't really get
Yeah.
to too many people out there. Thank you, everybody that has tuned in or have tuned in or going to watch this later. We do much appreciate it. Make sure if you see something out there that you like, use that clip button on your phone, or also if you're on your laptop.
The reason why I'm asking to stay silent is because I'm listening to the tires spin.
Put your favorite highlight.
Not that you're messing
Oh
me
no,
up.
I got you, man. I absolutely got you.
And what it also does, which me and Sam figured out, is when somebody clips it, we can go back and look at that clip and maybe
Not taking it in any kind of a crossway, sir.
to a short and post it on our TikTok
Tenfold.
and YouTube as a short, and you know, a
we're
little
going
bit of
green
help
this
from
time
the
by,
community
so
helps
get
the
the shit
channel
order
grow,
in.
right?
Let's get this
That's the
race,
ultimate goal, because if
underway.
we grow, we get more viewers on our races, the more that it grows.
Tire sounds a little important right now.
And the league is on board, they
Yeah.
get more sponsors, and just overall helps the ecosystem
Correct.
that we're a part of here in sim racing, and getting to see these drivers.
And make sure
around
you water
where
the
they can.
flowers.
Again, the outside line, he's going to have to baby it a little bit. 13 behind you, Cedric Hunter is not a
I just couldn't. What?
championship runner. So you got some time. Just take care of your car.
Because it's springtime.
I don't know.
Well, folks, if you're just joining us again, this is our second attempt at overtime. We have 3 if needed. Overtime attempt number 3 has slightly different rules than our first and second attempt. Got a quick caution on our first attempt overtime and a turn 1 incident. Wheel spin was a major factor for that wreck. We've only had 2 cautions here during the whole entire race.
Get
It was with
ready.
7 laps to go, and then just when we had our first overtime attempt restart. But if when we go green,
man.
we get a
Hey,
wreck on the
Tarzan.
first lap, we go into overtime attempt number 3. But if we stay clean and green until the white flag, this race becomes official, and it's
Green,
all
green,
about
green. All right,
who
you're
gets
back in
into
first.
victory lane and crosses that line first. Here we go into the restart zone. Race 1 of the championship round for season 8 is back underway. Brian McCann goes with a little bit of more of a delayed restart. Oh, no trouble! Bryson Hickson ball gets sent to the outside wall. Then 63 did not get going. It hurt Shane Terrian, but McCann's gone. Cedric Hunter is moving forward. Ken Campbell's back to 3rd, but Shane Terrian's trying to recover.
Oh my goodness. Hang on, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Shane Terrian. He's going to look on the outside actually here of Ken Campbell. And then you got
Yeah,
White flag.
boy. Yeah.
Don't put him out here. But right now, if he can get
Get your marks.
Ryan McCann here across the start finish line here, Sam, we should. Oh, it's Shane Terrian and Ken Campbell getting each other.
They get into one another when they cross the line. That's official. This race, as we make the white flag, or Rusty Jones' white flag is out. McCann all the way. Hunter comfortable in second.
He's going high for momentum. Nothing up there. Congratulations, Brian McCann.
3 battles.
Thank you. Is that the fastest lap?
Oh, you saw all
Nope.
the confidence.
Yes, it is. 30.1.
Or get moved.
Was that the
Oh,
fastest?
and Brian Johnson busted with a 29.9 behind you.
Damn.
First win. It's the first race of the championship.
Yep.
Wow.
Congratulations, sir.
Thought maybe I could get that too.
Oh, he finally got it. You know, like you said, last
Thank you.
should have been his until that late
Thank you, Derek.
last week, and John Forbes
buddy, watch it.
jumped the start and did get the win, but unfortunately,
It is officially your turn to burn him down, Brian. You've absolutely earned it. Let's go.
17 weeks.
Hell yeah.
17
The
weeks,
race
he
is
finally
over.
gets in victory lane.
Sometimes.
I mean, there have been 2, 3, 4 different races where you thought Brian McCann was finally going to cross over that edge. And in the championship round to get that first win after how competitive this 8 machine has been all season. This has got you feeling good for Brian McCann. What a run for himself here tonight. Again, talk about his other competition. Bryson Hicksonbaugh was restarting in second. He falls all the way down to 17th. Ryan Kelly, who at one moment was a major factor for a win here tonight, he'll finish 6th. But the 8 machine, Brian McCann, will come out of tonight with the most points heading into the championship race next week. Gotta watch you how this 8 machine gonna recover. But for us, we will step away. When we come back, we'll talk to our top 3 and a spotlight driver right after this.
Released for next season here. Well, hopefully by the weekend or by next race. So stay tuned for that. As kind of more trickles out.
Is it gonna blow up?
We're super excited. We have a few changes that we're.
Oh, changing colors, I'll tell you that much.
There it goes. No tech.
Well, it'll put
There
us
it
in a
is.
better direction, hopefully,
Pop
as
it.
a league moving forward. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it. So hopefully you guys are too.
Thank you, Derek. Everybody else
man.
who's watching, thank you, Repeat.
Absolutely, sir. I'm happy for you. What a way to do it with one race to go for a championship.
That's when you got to win them.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, where do I need to go? Man, I'm going to try my best to remember your name, but to say your name, but I forget half the time.
It's fine, man.
Hell, I'll say it. I'll try to say it first. How about that? The way I won't forget it.
Repeat. How'd you get it to blow up twice?
Blow up twice. I didn't
Yeah,
hear
it just blew up again.
Oh, nice. I had two motors. That's why.
Shh, don't say that too loud.
Hey, man, I'm going to hop up in the waiting room here.
I'm in.
Take it easy, and as always, thank you.
You're very welcome. I will see you next week in Kansas.
See ya.
Good win, bro.
Thank you.
Why am I in here?
You're probably the spotlight.
I don't want to be the spotlight.
Thank you, LES.
Man, I'm sorry again for coming up into you. I took no fuel and it was just super tight and I just overdrove it.
It's fine. I showed the displeasure, but
yeah, that's cool. I was
like,
expecting.
I just got fucking hammered. The second time that's happened to me in this league. Last time it was for a win at Darlington. I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, the whole time I was just like, oh, motherfucker. But
Boy, are they cussing.
I can't believe we didn't wreck before when I spun the tires 3 times on that first restart.
So he got a good job.
They just would not catch back.
Oh,
And it was
Ken
like
spun.
really low RPM when they started spinning. That was the weird part.
Ken spun big time, and then 63 had a...
And it goes the 8 machine of Brian McCann. Brian, congratulations on this win. Does this feel like a little bit of redemption in a way after how last week's race finished? How we thought you were finally going to get that win this season, and then you finally get it here tonight with a little bit of luck and a lot of skill at the end.
Heck yeah, man. Feels great. First win of the season and doing it right when I need to do it. And there were some other faster drivers out there, but man, I don't know what they had in their car. I didn't have nothing for them, but we got lucky at the end, pit strategy, and I kind of didn't want that caution to come out, but now that it did and it ended up the way it did, and man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think everyone thinking that same way of that caution coming out late. But with this win, the way we're running here tonight, I believe you will exit out with the most points after tonight's race. How does that make you feel knowing you got a slight buffer going into the final race of the season at Kansas next week?
I'm sitting in the best position, but I got a big target on my back, so it's kind of I don't know, catch-22 there.
It certainly does. Well, going into next week, Kansas, I know last season it was a dramatic race for the whole entire league as a whole. What are your thoughts going and having Kansas as the final race of the season?
I like Kansas. I'm not sure if it's the new one or, yeah, it looks like the new one, so not the legacy. I have pretty good experience on it. I'll have to practice, of course, because the competition out here is strong. There was 2 cars out here, obviously much faster than I was. So I got to figure out what they were doing.
Well, we cannot wait to see what you find out next week, Brian. Congratulations on this win. Enjoy it. And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any more shout outs.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my family, my spotter, Repeat 1975. Check them out on all the social medias. You guys for doing the broadcast, man, amazing job on the broadcast. League admins for putting this show on. They do a lot of work behind the scenes. Race control, keeping an eye on us. You know, he's busy up there tonight. And our sponsors that make this happen, and the drivers for coming out here and making it a fun, awesome time every week. Thank you.
Well, they entered into this race equal, but they leave Charlotte as Brian McCann will be the points leader and victor tonight. Congratulations, Brian. Enjoy this, and good luck next week at Kansas.
Thank you. See you.
As we move away from victory lane,
I thought maybe he was trying to run it long or something like that.
good luck next week at Kansas.
Thank you. See you.
As we move away from victory lane, we go down into second place to see if we can talk to the 13 of Cedric Hunter. Weren't able to talk to him a few weeks ago at Phoenix, but finally for WSSR, Cedric, it's good to see you. Second place. I mean, with those last couple of cautions, did you think second place was even possible for yourself?
No, I mean, I knew the restarts were going to be like, they're going to have a lot of wheel spin, and I don't necessarily have the best track record when it comes
Oh man, yeah, Derek, I forgot to say everybody watching tonight. I usually I need like a list over here.
To last, like I could have ended on the tow truck.
I was so focused on repeat this time.
I would have kind of been expected, but I'll take a P2. I mean,
but no, I'm glad y'all stick around and watch.
There was no way I was going to catch McCann there at the end. He was really, really fast. Him and
the
Bryson
13-15.
I think if the race would have went green, there's a chance maybe if Ken makes a mistake or something that I might.
Yeah, they had a tough time back there.
It was a really good race. The cars were super, super hard to drive tonight. They were pretty much on the edge.
Oh man, Derek, you're the one that calls the caution. So
fun. There's kind of a mix. We didn't get to see that.
Kind of have to thank you a little bit.
Few months.
I hated that call, but
I've always been
it worked out.
It's just a good change of pace, and hopefully going to Kansas, we kind of get to experience that again.
Well, speaking of Kansas, it was a very chaotic race last season with the way tire wear was influencing that race and racetrack. How is it knowing that you're going into that type of a racetrack, and even tonight,
let's see what happened to
that are of our championship 6, knowing how much pressure they're dealing with while you're trying.
We'll see what Ken was
looking at. Season.
Yeah, it's tough because I mean, like we saw tonight, like the thing was so hard to drive that like every time I got near somebody, like the last thing I want to do is obviously give them the door or just touch them at all.
Oh, he got put to the wall. Hold up.
On Ken there at the end would have been
63 got
really hard
put to the wall. How was that not a wreck?
I don't want to wreck any of the final 6. I mean, I just missed out by 1 position, and then tonight would have been fantastic points for me if I would have top 6, but
it just went right on him.
I think we saw, like you said, last season, the race.
I thank him for saving it though.
You can kind of run in every line. I'm hoping the dynamic track doesn't affect that too much, and we're still.
Look how bad it just hooked. I don't think the 9 got him.
If that's the case, I mean, it's going to be absolutely insane. Just, I think last season we had, on restarts and stuff like that, we basically had 20-something cars right on top of each other, and 3-4 wide.
No, the 9 didn't get him.
Corners, so fingers crossed we get to see that again next week, and we're able to put on a good show again for you guys.
Well, we can't wait to see what next week is going to bring for us. Cedric, before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any more shout-outs.
I appreciate it, man. Huge shout-out to my team, Lucky Ducks, Motorsports, for coming on. I know they're committing for next season as well. So
Ken got 3rd. He's a playoff contender.
Huge shout-out to you guys for doing everything that you guys do. Shout-out to all the admin team, and Steve up in the tower, I guess, to do race control. All their help or for everything that they do, it's much appreciated coming from me.
Ken, Shane Therian.
Shout out to all the drivers too that show up.
Shane got 5th.
6 drivers.
Ryan Kelly
tonight
amazingly came back up and got 6 after getting a
across all 8 seasons
penalty in the pits.
Race or 2. So hopefully next week we'll also have about the same numbers of drivers.
And then Ben Nelson, who got
thank you to all the fans
9.
there. And last but not least, shout out to Roast Jeff's Coffee.
And Zach Hall, who got 8th in front of Ben. So Ben, last season's champion, is going into the final race.
Last race of the season next week.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
In last place in the top 6 championship final.
Find ourselves with the second highest
point gap.
Championship 6 drivers. We have Ken.
I got 45 points. 41,
certainly
40,
there
39,
like you
36, and then
placed third
35.
place. They
So
were in the window
I got a
for
10-point lead over last place and a
things got a little bit more
4-point
crazy.
lead
How are
over
you
second
feeling with
place.
a third place finish in that last restart?
Incredibly lucky. That's
I'm not sure
really
if
the only
bonus
word I can
points are
describe it.
added in yet or not.
Yeah, at the end of the last run, I was
It would've-
defending against Mason. And
Here
I was
they
on the
are.
outside and was just fine. And Cedric was behind us, and so I knew I wanted to keep Mason behind me so that Cedric could have an extra car to pass. And I think I was in third at the time, and I was just comfortable running there and thought I was going to get a third. But then the caution came out, and
I don't know how to
have a
tell.
hard time finding the limit with these cars, so I'm not good at short run at all, really. And so I was kind of nervous about it. And then with the restart,
Yep,
I think I spun
there
the
it
tires
is.
like
I got 2
3
bonus
times,
points.
on that first restart.
Um,
And luckily,
Shane Therian got a
Ryan
bonus
picked up with me,
point.
and we were able to make it work.
Ron Kelly got a
Yeah.
bonus point because he led.
Yeah,
He
the
led a
whole
lap,
time I was just like, okay, just don't
and that's it.
loop it. And
So I got the most bonus points
Just get
and the win.
And I had taken
So I'm sitting in
fuel on that last run.
best
So
possible
I was
position. I
expecting
just
it
can't
to be
screw
a
up
lot
next
tighter
week.
than it was, and it wasn't until we were coming out of 4, and then
And I got to
Shane
figure
was
out
on
what
the
those other
outside,
drivers are
and-
doing.
And then it got super tight. But at that point, I couldn't lift, and we made a little bit of contact. He got in the wall, and I apologize for that. And he gets it, but I'm probably owed one as well. But yeah, just incredibly lucky to finish where I did.
I mean, Ken, overall tonight, it was such a strong run for yourself, being inside of the top 5 all night long. What can you take away from tonight? Because we've been saying it on the broadcast, I feel like almost all season, you've been under the radar. You haven't been the top hot topic of Ken Campbell is up inside of the top 3 every single race. You've just been in the top 10, just outside of the top 5. What confidence does
Damn, Ken had a rough start on that one.
heading into Kansas next week?
Well, it gives me a lot. If guys aren't talking about me, they're not thinking about me, right? And that's a good place to be when you're on track, because guys will kind of let you go or not be looking at you coming up behind and stuff like that. And so I've enjoyed flying under the radar, to be honest with you, and I hope that they count me out again next week as well. And yeah, I'll just be able to put in the laps, find the line, and run my race, right? I talked about that last week, and just run what I can run and hope that that's fast enough. And that's what I was doing tonight. And that's what I'm going to do at Kansas, and hope that it pays off.
Well, we cannot wait to see how you're going to perform.
Damn, that really held Larry up.
Congratulations on being the second highest of our championship.
I'm just
6.
amazed.
And before we let you go, the floor is now yours for any shout-outs.
How did
As
everybody
always,
behind that handle
first and
it?
foremost, thanks to my wife, Casey, and my kids, Logan, Jet, and Easton. Baseball season's picking up, so it's been a really busy time at the Campbell household. But they allow me to come and race and compete with these guys.
Look at everybody just go everywhere.
Teammates at Storm Motorsports, Stitz, who couldn't be here, and Wade for showing up. He finally got his PC issues worked out, and so he's here. And I thank Chelsea for letting him come. All the drivers and admins here at WSSR, Steve for doing race control. It's just really hard racing. I mean, as you saw all night, especially there at the last couple laps, that's just really hard and really fun. And you guys up in the booth.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for giving us a great show to cover. That will be your third place.
That 11 car saved it, and then the 2 belt wreck. Let's follow the 2.
In points, going for the championship heading into next week. Congratulations, Ken, on a top 3 finish, and good luck going for that championship.
Appreciate it.
As we go from 3rd place, we go to our spotlight driver, going to be 5th place finisher. Talked about how
That's how Ryan Kelly got back up to where he did.
Incident.
Hold up, let's ride with him.
Well, we'll talk to the 9, get his thoughts. Shane Terrian, another championship driver, going to be the 3rd highest.
He came through that entire
of our
pack.
Championship 6. Shane, top 5 finish overall for the
He
night.
started in 14th.
3rd place finish at moments.
And got what,
How
up
are
to
you
like
feeling,
8th
though,
or something?
After the way that tonight's roller coaster finished out.
I think I'm happy, I guess. I don't know. If I didn't crash and qualify, who knows where I would have finished, but I'll take a 5th.
Man, it was a
Literally
cluster.
Last place for a while there at the beginning.
Yeah, that was something that we noticed was the fact that yourself and Benjamin Nelson starting in the back, qualifying looked to be a lot harder than I think any of us really expected. How was that, though, going through the field, knowing that you had so much traffic to march through to finish up front?
I mean, shockingly, compared to past races, there was a lot of a lot of give and take. A lot of people let me go. There's a couple people who raced me a little hard, but probably because their teammates are in the.
Everybody,
I would assume. I have no idea.
everybody figured it out on the next one.
It was actually the most relaxing part of the race was passing those cars because a lot of people were just letting me go, and it was very nice. I wish that was like that all season.
Well, we got one more race left for this season. We're heading to Kansas. You're going to be the third in points heading into that race based off where people are finishing. And we're still waiting for the official confirmation. But Shane, how does it feel knowing that you've got one more race to go and you're still in the hunt for this championship?
Yeah, feels good. I mean, I get to actually finish one of these championship rounds out. Couldn't do it last season due to issues in my state, but yeah, I'm excited. Kansas is gonna be weird. It's gonna probably fall on qualifying, so we'll see.
Well, we cannot wait to see how you're going to perform next week. Shane, the floor is now yours, though, for any more shout-outs before we call it a night.
I'm just gonna shout out my teammates, Brian and Zach, Elo Controller, and, for the league. I'm excited.
All right. Gonna go ahead and jump off.
Friends that you know, Sam, so it'll be fun.
Well, one of those friends was in the chat quite a bit. Shout out to Bronson Stafford. Can't wait to see him out on track. But Shane, congratulations on a top 5 finish.
Y'all have a good one. Thank you for sticking around.
Championship.
We'll see you next week at Kansas.
Thank you.
As we move away from our